Every year, American take-back programs safely destroy more than 10,000 tons of expired and unused medication, roughly the weight of 70 blue whales incinerated under strict federal oversight. And somehow, scientists have still detected more than 900 different pharmaceutical compounds inside natural waterways across the planet, including antidepressants, antibiotics, and chemotherapy drugs. So if there is already a safe, official system for destroying old medicine, how is this much of it still ending up in rivers, streams, and eventually inside wild animals? Most expired medicine never actually reaches an official disposal system in the first place. Studies on household habits consistently find that most people simply throw expired pills straight into the trash in their original bottles without a second thought. A smaller but still significant number get flushed down the toilet, treated the same way as any other waste that disappears the moment you flush. The problem is that neither path was ever built with pharmaceuticals in mind. Landfill trash allows drug compounds to slowly leach into surrounding soil and groundwater over years. While most wastewater treatment plants were designed decades before anyone worried about filtering out chemically active compounds at the molecular level, so pharmaceutical residue passes straight through and out into the nearest river. For medications that do make it into a proper system, the process looks completely different. Twice a year, the Drug Enforcement Administration runs a nationwide take-back day at more than 4,000 collection sites, staffed jointly with local police departments, and permanent drop boxes at pharmacies, hospitals, and police stations operate the other 363 days of the year for anyone who missed the event itself. Collected medication gets weighed, logged, and transported under strict chain of custody rules to a licensed facility, where it is destroyed through high-temperature incineration, hot enough to fully break down the active chemical compounds rather than simply burying the problem somewhere else. That process genuinely works, and it accounts for more than 21 million pounds of medication safely destroyed since the take-back program began back in 2010. A single April event alone recently pulling in over 300 tons in one afternoon nationwide. But that impressive number still represents only a fraction of everything expiring in medicine cabinets across the country every single year. Since participation in any take-back program is entirely voluntary and most households never make the trip. Even once a river receives this runoff, the story does not stop at contamination. It starts changing behavior. In Sweden, researchers implanted small-time release doses of a common anti-anxiety medication into hundreds of young Atlantic salmon before their annual migration from a river out into the Baltic Sea, matching concentrations already measured in real waterways downstream of wastewater treatment plants. The drugged salmon completed their migration faster and in greater numbers than the untreated fish in the same study, apparently because reduced fear made them push through hydropower dam turbines that timid, undrugged fish hesitated in front of. A behavior that looks like an advantage in one narrow test is still a wild animal's brain chemistry being rewired by a human prescription it was never meant to encounter. Here is the part nobody tells you when official guidance describes the leftover risk as minimal. The Food and Drug Administration maintains an official flush list, a small set of high-risk medications the agency recommends flushing specifically because the danger of a child or pet accidentally swallowing them outweighs any environmental concern, and the agency has stated publicly that flushing contributes only minimally to overall water contamination. Not proven safe for the environment. Not proven especially harmful either. Just accepted as a trade-off against a more immediate danger sitting in someone's home right now. The fuller reality is that regardless of which specific drugs get flushed, wastewater treatment as a whole was never engineered to catch any of this, and the numbers show it. Drug residue, detectable in nearly every waterway scientists have ever bothered to test. The clearest evidence of where all of this actually ends up came from a set of streams outside Melbourne, Australia. Researchers tested aquatic insects and the spiders that eat them across 6 different waterways, including one running straight through a protected national park that should have been as close to untouched as a stream gets. Every single site came back contaminated, 69 separate pharmaceutical compounds detected moving through the food web, including antidepressants, antifungals, and even a common Alzheimer's medication. When the researchers calculated how much of this a platypus would absorb just by eating its normal diet of contaminated insects, the answer came out to as much as half a full human daily dose of antidepressant medication, absorbed by a wild animal that has never taken a single pill in its life. The trout sharing the same stream were not far behind, ingesting close to a third of a human dose purely through their ordinary meals. So the honest picture sits somewhere between the reassuring one and the alarming one. Official disposal systems work exactly as designed for the medication that actually reaches them, incinerated completely, chemically gone for good. But most expired medicine never reaches that system at all, and what slips through the cracks does not vanish. It moves, drifting from a bathroom trash can into groundwater or down a drain into a river, and eventually into the bloodstream of a fish or a platypus that had absolutely no say in the matter. The pills disappear from your medicine cabinet the moment you throw them away. They do not disappear from the world nearly as quickly as that. If medicine this ordinary can end up reshaping an ecosystem an ocean away from anyone's bathroom, it makes you wonder what actually happens inside the yards, where entire ships get taken apart once they are declared too old to sail. If this kind of hidden system is the sort of thing you want to keep seeing unpacked stage by stage, subscribing keeps the next one coming.